Yeah, right. Namaste and welcome to HR Satsang, a signature initiative from NRich HR Academy, empowered by NRich HCM Solutions Private Limited. Envisioned as a real reflection space for HR professionals who aspire for excellence, meaningful recognition, and a truly rewarding career in human resources. In the daily pressure of hiring numbers, compliance checks, and policy rollouts, we often forget to pause and reflect. HR Satsang is that sacred pause, not just another webinar or session, but a conscious gathering to rediscover the soul of HR. At Enrich, we believe that organizations don't just need people, they need vibrant, productive, and engaged human assets. And that transformation begins with empowered HR professionals who led with both clarity and consciousness. So, through HR Satsang, we bring together voices from across industries to reflect, learn, and evolve, not just in skill, but in spirit. This is our shared journey towards building a future ready HR community. So, let's begin this satsang with an open mind, open heart, and a shared intent to grow beyond tasks into thoughtful impact. So, let me introduce the topic for today. That is, today's topic is one of the most uh, we can say it hits our home for every HR professional when we start our career. No time for induction, then don't just expect any retention. So often we hear managers say, let's skip the induction, we'll cover it later, or we don't have the time. So let's get them to start work immediately. But what actually happens? They may start working with us, but they never get mingled with the company. That's what the problem is. That means the journey starts with the company, but that will not go along with the company if they are not properly onboarded. So this is not a formality. It's the first culture handshake between the employee and the company. It's where expectations get aligned, trust begins to build, and belonging takes root. So research consistently shows that employees who go through a strong induction process are not only more productive, but also stay longer with the organization. Through today's satsang, we want to explore why induction is often underestimated in organizations, the cost of skipping or rushing it, practical ways HR and business leaders can design onboarding that is meaningful, not mechanical. Our guest today is Ms. Garima Pandey, a global HR transformation leader and fractional CHRO, who has been at the forefront of scaling high growth GCCs and tech firms worldwide. With nearly 2 decades of cross continental experience and expertise spanning India, GCC, APSC, MENA, Europe, and the UK and the US, Garima has consistently elevated HR from being a support function to becoming a strategic advantage. So her expertise lies in building revenue enabling, resilient, and inclusive cultures, driving enterprise agility, profitability, and transformation at scale. She is also a corporate coach and trainer, passionate about talent, transformation, DEI, and POSH, helping leaders and organizations unlock their fullest potential. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Garima Pandey to the 6th edition of our HR Satsang. Hearty welcome to you, Garima.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It was a very warm and nice introduction. So I'm really thankful to you all. Yeah.
Welcome,
Nice.
Garima.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
So let me hand over the session to you. It's all yours now. We are all very much happy to have you here.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm spotlighting you. You just can start, right?
Yeah. So, like, what do you want me to start? You want me to start with my sharing my experience, or you will ask some questions like how you want to continue this satsang?
Definitely, I'll be coming up with some questions as you start. If you want to give any intro about you or what your experience, and that would be much more helpful for people to understand your profile.
Yeah, sure, sure. See, as Lavanya rightly mentioned, first of all, I would say good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful evening in Hyderabad with rains pouring. So, in my career, like I have worked in startups, I have scaled high tech growth organizations, and I have built global capability centers. So, what I've noticed basically, induction is a very primary thing, very basic thing, which we all learn in the starting of a career, but then it adds a lot of value to the organization. And it's something which is, if meticulously done, it can actually really affects your attrition or retention, which is the key metric for a HR professional. So this is something which I have seen, and whether it's a small organization, a startup organization, or you're scaling a high-tech organization or building a global capability center, being the responsible for for human resources, right, which is the most important asset of the company. It is like how you actually, I will not say welcome a person to the organization, but how you actually rightly align to that person to your organization is called induction. Okay, so it's not just giving the welcome kit like some t-shirts or some kind of goodies and all. It's basically the person who is coming to your organization. Are you really imbibing the cultural values right from the day, like let's say from the entry, like how you greet and treat a person? You are imbibing the culture, your culture to that person. So now that person is actually certain kind of brand image of your organization he's carrying. So they are actually internal brand ambassadors of your company. So that is the nutshell which I have seen in my career. And I would definitely welcome Lavanya to ask questions from me, and if I can actually do justice to those questions.
Wonderful, wonderful, because that gives a great start to the session today. So these are all the questions we have accumulated from times because we have been maintaining this HR Satsang community in WhatsApp almost from 2016.
Oh, that's
So
good.
during these many years, we have been answering so many people who are coming up with different kinds of questions related to HR profession. So where these are some of the questions related to this induction part people have asked it. So which I want you to, answer because your true experience, real time experience, will help them to understand a lot. So that's
Sure.
where the very first question goes to like, why do many managers treat induction and onboarding as a formality rather than a necessity?
See, this is something which I would say that the managers, they have a pressure, right? That you have a resource, right? And you have to put them into some certain project or make them billable, right? So because you should not waste their time because the project is there and the client is billing us. So they feel that induction is a waste activity, right? Why you want to waste 1 day or 2 day? Why don't you directly put them into the project? But I would say this is not their problem. It is actually the mindset problem, which as an organization, as the leaders of the organization, along with the HR, actually has to work with them. Okay, we have to make them understand that induction is what, like when you enter the company, you are actually should know why you are being hired into this company, right? First of all, if the answer of why is given, why you are there, what are your key responsibilities, and how will your day-to-day activities will look like, right? And what you are expected to do. That is the first thing. The second thing is, okay, now you should meet certain leaders of your department. It's not just one HR executive welcoming the person and giving the goodies and going through that all what we call our joining formalities and then PF and everything, right? That is a very basic thing. But if a leader of the department, that particular department, comes and address that person, okay, what are the key challenges they have been facing, okay, and what they're expecting that person to solve. It must have been told in the interview, but in induction, and it is given. Now the person has actually joined your organization, right? So it actually gives them a set mind, right? You are here to here work and what are your goals, and actually you're setting your vision and mission very clear to that candidate. Okay, so it is very important. And the third point is basically you are building your culture, right? A culture of connection. I'm very sorry for that. So just give me a second. I'll just my okay. So you're building a culture actually, a culture where you are actually building a culture of connection, right? That you come here and you all are connected to work together. We are all are connected actually to build something fruitful. Okay, because you all are here to create something. So that thing, when you give that person a perspective, that's important.
Very true, very true. Because when you are stepping into a new atmosphere altogether and when you are taking up some responsibilities, you should have a clarity on what you need to contribute over there. What's your role over there? Without that clarity, nobody can do anything. So, in this aspect, what do you say? Like, are there any kind of due to these business pressures and urgency to get the employees productive and lack of awareness of long-term impact? Are these things going to play a role like people are neglecting this induction part?
See, there's a lack of awareness, and people do neglect because many times, as HR professionals who have worked in the industry, they must have faced this. That managers will say that how much, why a one whole day induction, right? Or why a 2 day induction is going on, right? But see, as I would say, this has to be a combined effort from both the sides, right? Induction, like you have to actually customize the induction. For a fresher, definitely HR induction has to be long because you have to treat him with different kinds of formalities, your PF, this and all. But for experienced person, that person who's worked for 10 years, he's already knowing about the PF thing, he's already knowing about the bank account, he's already knowing like what to fill what. So I think that you can run through that rather than having a big slides, right? 50, 60 slides and going into detail. So you should always customize the induction, right? So that you can cut it short. Let's say rather than a 2 day induction for a senior fellow, you can have a 1 day induction with making that person need to, let's say that senior person can have to, you can schedule a call with the global leadership, like let's say the global leadership is sitting in US or UK, and you can all that, like which was your plan of putting that in second day, you can actually prepone it to first day, right? So when you do all this, and when you have already a clear set, right? When you've spoken to the line managers, for the junior people, we will do like this, and for the senior people, we will do like this, right? Then I think there would be no confusion, and the resistance, you can actually clear the resistance rather than being at the loggerheads, right?
True, true, very true. Because this is where most of the things happen. Like we treat all the employees in the same way, same manner. That's where we need to take care, depending upon the level of experience and understanding of the person. We have to customize. This kind of input is very much required for the HRs over there. These kind of implementations are very much required. Coming to my next question is, in your experience, what's the most visible difference between employees who went through structured induction and those who didn't?
See, there's a lot of difference because employees who went through structured induction, they would know, right? Like what are they have to do, okay? Whom they have to connect for everything. Let's say a simple induction like who's your IT support. IT support is the basic thing, right? Whom you have to connect with IT support, whom you have to connect with, let's say, your salary account. These are the simple HR things, right? The next comes to work, okay? Even for insurance, right? What you whom you have to connect basic, because after, if the induction is done not done properly, these are the simple questions which keep coming to the HR and the admin decks, right? And if the induction is done properly, or the line manager has come and met to the personal induction, he knows like whom he has to report for what in his own department, who is handling what. If he has some problems, if he has some query, whom he can approach to, right? How he can actually get his problems solved, and what he is really expected to do. Okay, so he will not lose that productive days. Otherwise, what I have seen, if the induction is not done properly, it would be like trial and error, right? Because a new employee, even if you have 10 years of experience, you will be lost, right? Whom to connect, whom not to connect, whom to talk, whom not to talk, because you're not knowing anybody, right? And you'll be like in an ocean figuring out your own ways, right? Which will actually make lose your productivity of the organization, of the employee, and of the department, rather than just you're counting that 1 day, or let's say 3 4 hours. This will actually lose a lot of time, and it also actually disgrace the person, because person will say, I'm here like 2 3 days, I really don't know what I am here, why they've been hired me, whom to connect what, right? Something is not working, sometimes the IT dex is not working, this is not working, and I have to figure out things on my own. So induction does play a very important role.
Great. So coming to the, we can say like the operational aspects. Yes, induction always plays a role because they'll get to know what to do. Do you think that induction is going to play to establish an emotional connect with the company, with the new employee?
Sure, sure. See what happened in induction. Like, first of all, it's the HR person who is greeting the person. But when the leaders do come, right, in the time of induction, it's not only work, right? You tell about the employee, and then you do talk about like how we're feeling and what you're supposed to do. So the connect is built from the first day, right? What we say meet and greet, right? The connect is built on the first day. It's not like, because once you hit the workflow, right, it's all about work, because right now the work pressure is so huge. The companies where I have worked, right, uh, it's like 8 hours work, but I think many of us agree it's like 10 hours, 12 hours, right? and you don't have time sometime to go for a coffee break or this, and you are eating and doing the work. So induction is something where you literally get time to talk to your leader to understand what you were supposed to do. Because once you hit the work, the manager will also be busy with the mails, with the calls. So this is something where, see, emotions can only connect when you have little time, right? When you're always in replying on the calls, on the emails, or doing some high target things, right? You cannot build the emotional connect, right?
Very true, very true. Because I feel like HR mostly works with not only the operational things, but emotional things are also very much required. And we are the ones who will be mostly trying to balance the things over there. So in this context, I would like to ask you, like, have you ever find any of one at least induction very much tough for you? Like maybe the person may not have continued with the company for not even 2 days, 3 days. Immediately you may have to find out another person to replace. Certain things happen, right? So have you ever find such kind of situation, and how have you dealt?
See, it does happen. See, we HR do a lot of things, right? We do a lot of offer, like, but see, here I find that there are some loops from the HR side also, and there are loops from the candidate side also. In both, and there are different situations. In one situation, it may happen that candidate was having 3, 4 offers. He joined your companies, right? And he was waiting for the better offer. And the moment after 3, 4 days, he joined your company, and then he got the other offer, right? And he just went, right? So there is no actually no, and you just did the joining formality, you send the welcome mail, and then the candidate slapped you. Right? This happened. So this is not something which is like undeniable. But it can also happen that after giving the offer letter and the candidate joining, there was a time, right, when the rapport building was not done, right? When the candidate was not warmed up, or in the sense he didn't felt that welcoming effect. Or let's say, I would say that I have worked in startups. So even after having so many years of experience, I don't shy away in picking up the call and calling the candidates between that time. Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Okay, so we're looking forward on working with you. Okay, so these are some things which we are looking that you can fix it up. And we're also thinking like how, like something you have to build something. Or let's say, just if you're both in Hyderabad, just you can talk, yeah, for how long means something, you have to do some ice breaking so they feel that you are welcome at you're welcomed, right? So these are the tough situations I faced. And when you said that if some candidate ran away, what would you have done? Right? Then only thing, like, you would have said, right, some of the things, like you have to manage the situation, and then you should have a pipeline, right? That let's say, we always say, okay, this is the gold candidate for hiring, then you should have a silver candidate standing. You just can't say, no, give me another 3 months. You can't say that, right? Because there's a project standing. Then you should actually fill up this position, and you should have to make sure, do the proper induction, and that too fastest way. In one day you should finish all and get that person working.
Absolutely, these are the points which mostly we'll be discussing in our talent acquisition master program, where when we discuss about this talent acquisition part, we speak about the engaging the candidate before he joins. Once we release the offer, we should engage. Most of the people, what they think is daily, you may have to ask them like, "Hi, how are you?" No need to have those kind of greetings daily. You don't have to stand before their doors, but at least you need to build a rapport over there. That kind of efforts are to be made properly, and as you said, a backup also should be there with us so that we can take up the next immediate candidate, so that in case if this fellow runs away also, we'll have an option to find it out.
Yes,
That
yes,
percentage
yes.
is also important.
Yeah,
So,
and that's a HR nightmare. Oh God, I will not wish anything like this for anybody, for HR folks.
uh,
That's a nightmare.
unfortunately, these cases are very much high these days because
Very
of this
high,
job
and
hopping.
I would say that recruitment people say it's very easy job, but then as a HR person, we know how much time it takes to get the right candidate on the board. Many people are unemployed, but to get the right candidate on board takes a lot of work. And moreover, see, during the time of the interviews also, you have to be very cautious, because sometimes line managers are so rude with the candidates that they ask certain questions and the candidate doesn't turn up. Then if the recruitment
True, true.
doesn't fall away, the axe will fall on you. So you have to be like I would say director of the movie, a director of the recruitment process, where your eye is always there till the time a movie is finished or till the time candidate is onboarded, induction finished, and you finish 3 months in the organization. Till the time, like that's the reason I built 30 to 90 days, like check-in points for us, for HR professionals.
Absolutely.
30 days, 60 days, 90 days, along with the line managers, because you can't take the risk, especially with the
Right.
IT talent.
True, true. Because see, this kind of religious practice of talent acquisition best practices are very much required, which are mostly those people are not aware of. Because most of the people what they think as recruitment is one of the stopgap kind of role, where you just have to source the profiles, nothing beyond that you need to do. But majorly, what the thing they don't understand is they are going to change the, I mean, future of the organization if they work in the right manner. That's what I personally feel. So that kind of, I mean, upskilling and knowledge awareness are very much required. So that's where we are also working very much rigorously on educating on particular best practices of recruitment always. And these are the things we'll be mostly speaking about. So coming to my next question,
I would
because
just
this
want
has
to
been
add
very
one
much,
thing.
yes,
See,
please.
other people will say everything apart from HR department. People will say that your job is not good. What are you doing? But as a HR, we have to value our job. People will
True.
put us down. I agree. Most of the freshers or even me, right? Even people will ask, like the operations director will ask, "Oh, you HR, what you people do from morning to evening?" Because they will not understand. But that doesn't mean that we have to also put ourselves down. When we give
True.
respect to our work, okay, then at least we can expect people to respect. Even if they don't respect, nothing matters. We respect our work.
True. That stature upkeepment is very much required over there. Whenever you are stepping onto the floor, if you have to show that you deserve some respect, you need to make yourself able to get that respect. That's what majorly important. Yes, whatever you are, I mean, opinions are very much fine and exactly aligning with my thoughts also. And I'm very much happy that that this discussion has been very much interesting till now. And now,
Thank you.
my next question goes to like, how can HR and line managers collaborate better to make onboarding effective?
See, that was
Because
I just,
not
yeah.
a single person's role.
Yeah, what you just, I just mentioned 30, 16, 90 days. Actually, induction, we have
Mm.
to actually sit in collaboration with the line manager or the department head, right? That for the new,
Mm.
let's say for freshers, what would be our process? For the senior people, what would be our process? See, what HR can do. HR can give you the framework, right? Okay. That this is the flow of the induction, that I will come and I will discuss about the policies, then you will come, right? But
Mm.
when line managers to come, then the connect with the department would be given by the line manager, right?
True.
It cannot be given by the HR manager because HR person is not doing day-to-day work, okay, in that
Right.
particular department. So the importance of line manager is very important here because induction is something basically ultimately he has to work with the line manager. But I have seen many times that induction when it comes line manager, oh, it's HR responsibility. Okay, okay, HR can give you the framework, HR can give you the policies and all, but how come the HR will know? Like for I think for 100 people or 75 people, one HR is there. And in some organizations, I've seen 300 people, one HR is there. With the advent of AI, most of the HRs are like, right? We have very less manpower in HR, right? And with cost cutting, HR is the first where the every boss will say, oh, HR department is so costly, right? So, so you need to understand one HR cannot work in every department, right? And will not
Very
have knowledge. So this should have an open conversation with the line manager that I have to oversee most all the departments, right? Okay. So
true. True.
your inputs is valuable and you are the one who can give that connect of that department to your person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have seen a hand raise. Faisal, please post your question, whatever it is, in the chat box so that we'll be answering your question during the question answer. Once we'll get completed with this question answer to Garima, please. We'll be taking all the questions and we'll be answering them. So, in the same context, now because HR cannot play the same role everywhere and he cannot be present everywhere. So, he or she is the one who can accommodate, who can support all the activities, whatever happens inside the teams and we can coordinate with all the departments and all. So at that time, I would like to ask you, in this AI era, right, because everything is running towards this automation and everybody is very much passionate towards making it automate. So how do you feel like if we automate, initially we'll take up this, if we automate this induction part, how effective it would be in your perspective?
See, automation would be helpful in the case like for that joining formalities, filling forms, right? If there is a automation or there's a chat bots who can because many times you must have noticed as a HR professional, we get repeated queries. Same query
Yes.
which has been addressed will be asked n number of times even after lot of town halls, out of lot of meetings. Same thing would be asked, right? So that repeated queries can be taken by AI agents. Okay, the other thing about the personal connect, right? When the induction, you cannot say that, okay, HR will not be present, AI agents would be there. Okay, you log into the system will answer everything and no HR needs to be there. Because then you will miss the personal connect. You cannot, you need a person over there. Okay, HR, AI agent would be there, HRMS because everything is inbuilt in the HRM is built now, inbuilt into AI, right? So, but where you can do your onboarding formalities and all, but a human is required for you to talk, for you to feel that, okay, you're talking to a human, not to a machine, right? That kind of connection is required. But it can definitely actually eliminate the unnecessarily burden of HR on answering the same question again and again, which happens, right? So there the AI will really help us.
Rightly said, like redundancy can be taken out so that we don't have to do those manual things, like every day you will be answering the same questions or filling the same forms. That can be done automatically.
Yeah.
So in this part, so as you are already told, like the presentations you have to make and you have to customize those presentations according to the experience levels and the kind of expertise what those kind of people have. If they are freshers, definitely we may have to give a longer induction, and if they are highly experienced people, we don't have to spend that much of time in inducing them, right? So these are the things. If we see, then how AI is going to help you, because today everybody is speaking about AI. Everywhere AI is indulging and intruding into our lives. So in HR, how AI is going to help in particular induction part to make their job easy.
See, yes, in the PPT part also, right? We have so many AI tools like Gamma AI, Prezi AI, right? Which makes like your presentations, right? Then, in fact, if you don't want to purchase also Gamma AI or Prezi AI, you can actually go to ChatGPT and you can write, okay, I have to give induction to a fresher, right? They will give you all the text, right? Now you have to paste that into PPT, and with Microsoft Designer, you have to beautify it, right? Or if you have a, let's say, custom PPT, okay, of your organization, then you have to put into that, and with that custom font of yours, and then the pictures which are allowed in your company, you have to beautify it. So it's so easy. Earlier, like you have to think, right, what is the first slide, second slide, third slide, and it will take so much of your time. Now with designer and all, you don't have to really be a practical designer, right? You take out, otherwise we remember the days when we have to search in Google, find out the pictures, what to paste over there, what to write. Okay, we'll go through. If you remember, script used to come SCRAVD, which was a paid thing, right? Where we'll go through a lot of PPTs. All the HR personnel would have uploaded their PPTs. We'll see, okay, that is done in their organization. Okay, that must have. So let's see here. Now that is not required, right? So your work has been made so easy. Your work has, and now customization. Earlier we used to, oh God, customization for every person. If I do customization, it's not possible. Your executive will say it's not possible. Now he also knows that customization, I would say a person for let's say 3 years experience is entering my organization, give the induction for that person, right? He will give. If it's a 10-year-old person, okay, and he has a PF account, you give basic commands, like say, you give the persona of the your person who is entering, and he will give you the PPT. And you don't have to do it every time, because you can make it like, let's say, a person for, let's say, 9 to 12 years of experience, one PPT, or let's say 9 to 15 years of experience, right? Or let's say mid management, senior management, or fresher level. And then you can play your game. It's not like for every person who is coming, you will start playing with AI. That will take a lot of your time.
Sorry. Yeah, very true. Because see, people are having so many whims and fancies regarding AI because it is not completely into action till date. 100% action is not yet possible. It takes a lot of time to get implemented 100% in India. We all know that. But at the same time, we have to get adopted to all these things because HR mostly has been a non-technical role many of the years. And slowly now a HR has got a need, a mandatory need to become a techie guy so that they have to adopt the technologies, they have to adopt all the updates that are there in the market so that they can get abreast with the market needs and then they can do their roles, I mean, perform their roles properly. So, because when we are speaking about the performances of all the other roles, we also are supposed to perform as per the requirement. So, in that point, this AI part has taken a very big role these days in everybody's brains. Like it is going to eat away HR's jobs completely. So, if if such is the case, then how HR going to deal with the things then?
See, change is inevitable, right? It's not about HR's job. It's eating all the professionals' job, right? You can't say that Axe is only on the HR. But can you do something about it? Can you stop AI coming? You cannot stop, right? It's not in
Mm,
your hands. What you have to do,
mm,
then the only thing which is left in your hand is to upskill. See, you would say a lot of leaders saying AI will be your like ally, you have to upskill. But the truth is, we all are knowing, right? It is eating away jobs, right? We are seeing the market. And since I'm talking in this conversation where we can't, we don't need to lie, right? I'm not talking on a
mm.
world forum, right? We all are HRs, we don't need to lie to each other. Okay, we know it is eating our jobs, and the only thing is inevitable. It's only thing to learn and go with the flow. Okay,
Right.
and the fastest will survive. Fastest will
True. True.
survive. The fastest you learn, the fastest you execute, you will survive. Otherwise, you will be obsolete.
Absolutely, absolutely. Learning is what we need to get ready with because without learning, without adapting for the new changes that are there, we cannot transform ourselves even because survival of the fittest is always the mantra with which people have been surviving everywhere. Especially when it comes to human race, we have been surviving as the highest level of living being on the earth because of this adaptability only. I feel as a HR, we also need to get into that kind of adaptability always so that we can survive in this kind of situation also.
It's
Nice,
something
nice.
you can't say no, no, AI is not taking away jobs. I'm fine. You can't see that. You're saying every day the big giants are cutting their jobs, right? But you can't do anything about it. You have to live with it and you have to adapt.
Actually, the transformation phase is this is the transformation phase where people have to change themselves or maybe upskill, as you rightly said, upskill themselves so that they can get into that particular role. HR is not going to get vanished completely, anyways.
It will not
HR
get
is
vanished. See, no role will get vanished. But
yeah,
if you don't adapt, okay, you would
mm,
be obsolete. So you
that
have
that
to understand.
transformation.
You
Yeah,
cannot give into that some kind of dreamland and say, oh God, AI would be our ally, right? AI is your competitor in the sense if you're doing your basic job of filling forms and all, your job is gone, right? So you have to understand that you have to learn AI to do those basic jobs and say, okay, I'm 10x faster than that person. Otherwise, you
yes,
would pick up.
absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, Faisal, are you ready to take your question because you have raised your hand? I have given you, I mean, I have allowed your mic. Faisal Arshad.
She has already posted the question, madam. I think so. I mean, I saw the question over there.
Can you read that out?
Just a minute.
Maybe
In the
we
AI-driven hiring process, does anyone actively monitor or audit the AI decisions? If so, how can HR ensure that the system's recommendations are transparent, unbiased, and still aligned with human judgment?
I'm not able to read that question. Can you just
Let,
Let,
repeat?
let
it's
me
in
read it out.
Q&A. It's in
Yeah.
Q&A. So,
Acha, it's
Let,
not
let
in
me
chat. Maybe you people can
yeah.
read. Yeah.
let me read it out. In the AI driven hiring process, does anyone actively monitor or audit the AI's decisions? If so, how HR can ensure that the system's recommendations are transparent, unbiased, and still aligned with human judgment?
See, AIC, when the report comes, the HR person has to monitor it. It cannot just directly go like that. Okay, that's the reason I am saying AI will help you to give faster results. Your repetitive tasks can be good, but you cannot just leave AI on your own. You need a person or a specialist to judge, right? That's the reason I said basic tasks would be eliminated, but not the specialist task, because you need a knowledgeable person to understand what is written right and wrong. But normally you must have seen HR interns and all earlier, right? Where we ask them, okay, give that form, they will fill to the candidates. Those tasks would be eliminated.
Yeah, the other one she has asked is this one.
Yeah. How do you differentiate between rejecting a candidate because they are not the right fit versus rejecting them because of unconscious bias? What practices can HR follow to make sure tough hiring decisions stay fair?
See, for this, actually, we have a certain guidelines, right? Where we do said, okay, if he's not qualified, okay, what is the criteria? Because we have this interview, normally, nowadays we are using software. Earlier in my careers, we used to fill that interview forms, right? So you must have seen that there, in the system only, it is built like what is the unconscious bias and what is like the criteria for it. Unconscious bias can be, let's say many people feel that women cannot be fit for this job, right? That's unconscious bias, right? And some people feel like, okay, this person, some manager may have a bad experience with a person who has worked with certain skill set, okay, but he thought that person may improve, but it has not happened, and then he is not able to give that time, right? So we understand what is the reason. So after the interview, the HR always get that interview sheet or the report from the software where we actually sit with the person why you have rejected the candidate, because you should understand that ultimately the recruitment is the HR responsibility. If the position is not fulfilling, you will get the axe, right? So for every reject, it's HR responsibility to talk with the hiring manager to get a detailed report. Okay. And if it is a red flag, that's unconscious bias, then you have to escalate it. Okay. You have to tell to the line manager if he's not listening, then to the boss. Okay. Because if your target is not fulfilled, you will be in problem. Because ultimately, if the project delays, he will say, but the HR was not able to provide the resources at right time. So you have to be very clear on your objectives.
True, very true. Uh, because these are all very much tough situations, because while you are dealing with the things practically, then only you will get to know what is right and what is wrong. So how unbiased you are practicing that depends upon the company's culture, how you have built right from the beginning. And in case if it is not being there, then definitely HR has a responsibility to correct the company's culture also by giving right kind of inputs to the management. That's what makes the difference. It's not just to act as a HR as if you are also an employee. Almost all we can say like HR is a part and parcel of organization who has to build the branding over there. It could be an internal branding or external branding. It
And it's a
becomes
tough job. It's a
yeah,
tough job. It's a high pressure job. People see that HR is a very easy job. It's a very tough, high pressure job because it's very easy to say that you have to raise a red flag and you have to escalate. But when it comes and you have to really have to do, it comes into a very conflicting situation where you have to maintain your cool because you cannot shout being an HR professional. They will raise their voice. A lot of ugly emails will go. So it's a tough profession to be.
yes. Mostly related to emotional kind of things where you have to balance yourself first and then only you can ask people to get
Yes,
balanced.
rightly said. Right. Yeah, I really agree. First, you have to balance yourself because there would be times when you would be like bombarded from all the people. Okay. And you feel that you are the only unknown person. So that emotional resilience is something which is very much required in this profession.
True, true. Nazib, I think you are there to ask some question. You can on your mic. Right. So let you post your question in the chat box if it is not possible for you to on your mic. Not a problem. We are there to answer you. I think Faizan.
I think Faizan asked something.
Nazib also have asked Faizan's questions. Two of the Faizan's questions you have answered. Uh, so what coming to the high, I mean, this induction part, again, we'll go back to our induction part questions. So uh, coming to this induction, what are the essentials of a meaningful induction in just 3 points? What they could be?
So the meaningful induction is like, first of all, they should know what is the company, right? The culture of the company, the do's and don'ts by HR. That is very important, right? What is permissible, what is not permissible. The second important point, why they are here. What are their responsibilities? Why they are really here, what they want to do. And then the third point is the connection, right? Whom they have to connect, right? Who are their peers, who are the reporting managers, for what information they have to approach whom, right? So these are the three important points why induction is there.
And
Okay.
also to add to your point, Garima, like in some of the companies, like, wherein they divide the induction session into 2, 3 days like that. Because instead of taking the whole point at a time, it's like they divide it and then they introduce their team once. At the same time, they do each and every part of the section, day wise and so that they get acquainted with everybody. At the same time, they'll have a feel that, they'll observe the things and they'll get acquainted to the culture and everything in the company. So wherein it helps them also to be free among their colleagues and all, because one day we can't ask them, just coming and giving that induction part and then asking them to be part of it and all. I don't think it's going to work out that way. But also it's something where if you give them a time like 2 to 3 days and all, even they'll feel more comfortable there.
Yeah, see, that is very, I really agree. But sometimes what happens when you work in high pressure environments, no, they don't, the line managers
Mm.
don't give you 2, 3 days, right? So in that 2, 3 hours of time, no, you have to squeeze that, right? So three major points you have to cover anyhow in induction. It should not be like,
Mm.
if you're not getting time, I will miss those points, right? But to
Yes,
what you
true.
are saying is absolutely correct, because that, see, but it all depends, like how your
Depends.
organization is giving you that, what we call the time, the scope, and HR has to always work in those. I would say, they say HR doesn't have tight deadlines, but I would say HR has tight deadlines.
As well. Yeah.
Actually, HR is such a person who always runs behind the deadlines. Because,
Yeah, I totally agree. I
because
totally
every
agree.
team's deadlines are aligned with HR's only, which they will never show up. But indirectly, we are the ones who are responsible for their performances. So we will be running behind these deadlines. And coming to the question of Nazir, as an individual person, HR, though it is not very much relevant to induction part, but still, an individual person, HR is my passion and interest. How myself as an HR can dominate AI.
Dominate AI. Okay, see, dominate AI, then I would say, see, you don't have to dominate AI. You just learn AI. Okay, and I would say that's a very good opportunity for HR, because right now we don't need coding in AI, right? It's a no code AI. Okay. Now I was attending some classes. I was attending master classes where they were talking about agentic AI, NATN, right? And these were no code, right? And you can actually build AI agents for yourself who can actually reply the basic emails which you get day-to-day emails, right? Which can actually post on LinkedIn also for yourself. I was just attending, and that was like mind-blowing. It was saying that I was not needing any coding also. Okay.
Mm,
And
mm.
it is like you just have to have one API. You got that API from one side, this API, and you relate to it, and you got an agent, right? You really don't need a coder or something. So this is the golden phase where you can be technically what we call tech HR without learning coding.
Yes, yes. Much of the technology and coding kind of things are not required. You don't even
Yeah.
know, need to
So,
know about the testing part and all.
so I think techie guys should be more afraid of AI rather than us.
Yes.
Because coding is not required now.
Only thing is we need to understand where to learn and how to learn, and as well as AI when it comes to that. Even in our previous workshop, what we have conducted for HR related to AI, this is what we discussed mostly about. Like the prompt engineering is what one needs to learn majorly. Because if you are giving the right prompts, then only you are going to get the right output from AI particularly. So that is where we need to use more of our logic. It articulates our thoughts properly and shows it as an output. But if you don't have a proper thought, basic itself is missing, then whatever the prompt you give, you're not going to get a right output from AI mostly. So no need to get afraid of AI is going to dominate, but at the same time, if you want to use the AI, utilize the AI as per your need, you need to think logically, strategically and logically. If you start thinking and knowing the basics of the things, that is where your expertise is more required over there. So upskilling always plays a major role over there. Upskilling from the basics. It's not like एक बार AI आ गया तो AI से शुरू कर दिया, बाकी सब छोड़ दिया. Sorry, today my throat is being, troubling me. Anyways, and that has been a wonderful answers and questions that has been posted by people and answered by you. Yes, so induction again. I think like induction is one of such wonderful moments for an organization and the employee both. Like we are welcoming a new person into the premises, and he or she is also coming newly into the organization. This emotional bonding, yes, we know. The operational part, yes, we know. At the same time, this induction is what makes a person more productive right from the day one. As earlier told by Madhuri, also, we cannot expect the productivity from people. But yes, when can we expect this productivity is if they are not freshers. Because freshers, yes, we have to train them, then only they are going to be productive. But if they are experienced people, then induction is such a process where people can become quickly aligned with the goals of the organization. They can understand it quickly and they can quickly become productive. That's where. So in that aspect, I want you to share your experiences, any kind of real-time experiences where you have seen right kind of induction has made people productive right from the day one and maybe day two.
See, I would say that recently, with my experience of scaling a global capability center, okay, where I was the first employee, and I've scaled the organization to 250 plus employee, okay, fintech company. So, and I have achieved 88% offer acceptance rate with 0.2% attrition. Here, thank you. Here, I meticulously planned actually because I was the person who has to first employ have to hire leaders, then leaders have to build their teams. So it was my responsibility that the induction is good, right? So, and my responsibility because see, when you build a global capability center, you're actually taking the projects which were there in America or US, which was my company, US to India, right? So you cannot say, okay, fine, now these people are hired, they will get used to the culture for 2-3 months and then they will start performing, right? Because the whole objective of a global capability center is a cost arbitrage, okay, that you're moving the project from US to India so that the company can save money, and we are hiring leaders so that these people can work and they can bring their team, right? So here the HR plays a very important role, that the person who's coming, right, induction, you are bringing leaders to a new setup. Here it is a responsibility that they should not feel, oh, we have hired, we have come to a new setup, it will take some time, I will take some time, I will perform. You have to set the momentum right from the beginning. Okay, you are hired as a leader. This is the culture of the company. This is not a new company. This is a global capability center, the parent company. This is the culture of the company. Okay, now this is your job, what you have to do. And these are the people, the US stakeholders, you have to connect on the day one. Okay, then the person start hitting the what we call the targets or the margin from the next day as a leader. With a fresher, now again you come that you have hired a person, okay, you have to make that, let's say not a fresher, let's say a person with a mid-year experience, let's say 3-4 years of experience, you have to make sure that again, now this is the Indian leader, this is your job, this is your connection, okay, and so that person is knowing what he has to do, and he is there to, you have to show a career path to that person, because leader already knows, right? Okay, fine, I'm here, I have to build up a team, and then definitely this is my India leadership, I'll go to a global thing. But that will take time, because after some time in leadership, promotions does are not low hanging fruits. You have to really work on it. But as a person who had 3 to 4 years of experience, you can have quick promotions, right? A quick turnaround or career path. So you have to show them. Then only that person will be engaged to you, and your actually efficiency of induction can be measured when you have a lowest rate of new hire induction. That your people should not leave the company in 90 days. If you're measuring that, tracking that, then you have done your job.
You nailed the point, actually. That is what to be taken. See, most of the times what we do is we listen to the sessions, we take all the motivation, inspiration, points, knowledge, everything we take up, but we never think of the points to practice. That part is very much required, where this is a wonderful take up, like no person who have been induced into the company should not leave before 90 days, is what the parameter for the best induction part in the organization. That's what we can count. And with this, I felt like this discussion has been very much interesting, and your experiences have made even the participants very much empowered with the things. And I would like to know more about your induction experiences. Like you have I mean, you have conducted inductions for many people. That's a different thing. But as a HR, when you are entering into an organization, do you have any two kinds of examples we can speak about? Like one, the best induction part, and the second one, maybe that was not so great, where you didn't felt very much good about that induction part when you are being introduced.
The first induction was where I would say about the good part, where I was actually given the good induction about the companies and what are my roles and responsibilities. The leaders came and gave me the picture and all, and I was shown my cabin and everything, and definitely the goodies and all. The other was like when I was not knowing only what to do. My email ID came after 15 days. Till the time I was not knowing. I was the person who was what to do, what not to do. So even where I was left out. but but that was the later point of my career when I was already a leader, right? So I was knowing that sometimes things take time and you figure out your ways. But if that was done to me earlier in my career, I would be like finding another job offer where I have landed now. So
Okay.
it happens. So sometimes in big companies it does happen 15 days candidate doesn't know only where is.
Very true, very true. Most of them, this is some kind of examples. We speak in induction related topics. Like induction sometimes will be deciding your tenure with the organization. Because it is where the candidate gets an impression. As we say, the first impression is the best impression most of the times. So the very first day, if he is having a good impression on the induction part, then definitely they'll decide like, yes, I'm going to continue with this company. After 90 days, what happens? That's a different thing altogether after coming to the experiences part, maybe production, I mean, his productivity part and all. But yes, this part plays a major role. It plays a major role in the deciding the tenure of the employee with the organization. It's not only for the employee always, because we have been speaking about the employees experience, employees induction, employee experience. Always we are speaking in that perspective when it comes to the organization, right? When we are welcoming a new employee into the organization, how good it can be and how bad it can be while inducting a person into the organization, how its impact can be. That is also to be thought a lot, right?
Yeah, it has to be thought and it has to be meticulously planned, like how impactful it can be. See, because you carry the memories, you carry the impression, right? You must have forgotten what you have done that day, but you will remember how you felt that day, right? You will always remember that. So you rightly said, Lavanya, that is always been remembered. So that's a very important point. But as a HR professional, I would say that there is always a learning, right? Even after so many years of experience, you are learning, I am learning, Madhuri is learning, and all the people we have to keep learning. And in this age where you survival of the fittest, I would say, right? You have to keep upgrading yourself. You can't say that, oh God, now I've done a lot of work, now I will relax. If you're relaxing, you will go down. See, what I have seen in my life that you cannot stay stable actually. Either you go up or either you go down. Like you can't stay stable. There is the law of gravity will pull you down. So you have to work against gravity.
Moreover, I think like today, a new person, maybe the freshers are the people with whom we have to compete with, who are having many miles ahead of our IQ, EQ, everything. So we have to keep on competing with these people to keep ourselves standing in the roles for long, long.
Yeah,
Or else our
yeah.
survival itself is going to be a challenge for us every day. So yes, we have to run many miles faster than those people so that we can stand along with them.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, any questions reminding whom anybody wants to ask any questions, please, so that we have some 5 to 10 minutes we can spare. It's already 8:27. Most of the questions have been answered during the session. Still, if you have any other questions, you can please post, or else we'll conclude the session. You can connect with us through our HR community, HR Satsang, that has been continuing since 2016. So anything else you want to ask, please. What do you say? How was your experience with this HR Satsang? What do you say? Like these kind of sessions are required for today's HR people life, we feel. That's why we have been conducting this satsang as a series continuously with different topics. So what was your experience with this?
It is a nice experience to me. We can learn daily the new things. It's just like an ocean. We are into it.
Right. So do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Right. Great. So with that, I think, Garima, I'm very much happy that I have hosted this session with you because I have enjoyed the conversation a lot.
Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you,
Yeah.
Madhavi.
We have to thank all the participants that have
Thank you, all
taken
the participants.
their hectic schedules on a Wednesday, because most of the people, they ask us like, why have you kept this on a Wednesday? What we feel is, if you are coming out of your comfort zone, that shows the commitment for your professional growth. That's where maybe we will be packing up our things from the office, and at that time, if we find a reminder like you have a session, you just can attend. That may be one of the refreshments for the people also, and their knowledge gaining also improves. So yes, thank you everyone for being part of today's HR Satsang. I'm very much happy to host this. We started with a simple but powerful thought: no time for induction, then don't expect retention, right? What we have seen through our discussion today is that induction isn't just a HR ritual. It is the first promise of culture, the first step of trust, and the first seed of engagement. That's what required. So skipping induction might save a few hours today, but it often costs months and loss of productivity, disengagement, or even early attrition tomorrow. So this is the clear message. If we want employees to stay, perform, and grow, we must invest that initial time to welcome them, orient them, and make them feel they belong. Because retention doesn't begin on appraisal table, it begins on day one. As we discussed. So to all our participants, thank you for your presence, your questions, and your intent to grow. Until we meet again, stay connected and stay human. Thank you so much, Garima,
Thank you so much.
for the session.
Thank you,
We are
Garima.
very
Thank
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.